anything, I want people to look at this painting. I just want you to think about who you are as an American and what you can do to help build our country. Is there anything that I can do to make a difference?
I'm Ron Meldrum, and I'm very excited about being here today with Jon McNaughton, who is the artist that did this incredible painting of Christ with the Constitution. I had the opportunity to actually find out about this only just a few days ago. It really touches people's hearts. We're going to be honored to have Jon McNaughton himself actually tell about what inspired him to do this painting and talk about some of the different details, the symbolism, and the motive for the call to action that this painting entails.
Here's the sketch that I first did about a year ago based on my original vision, if you want to call it. I stuck pretty close to the sketch to the whole thing, and I referred to this through the entire process so I could kind of keep it near me. I build up the painting in layers. I start with kind of an undertone of raw umber, which is kind of a brown, and I get it all blocked in, and then normally I work the entire painting at once, but because this painting was so large, I just started on the central Christ figure and just worked one figure at a time. I was able to put all my energies into each figure and really trying to feel that figure. And you know, there's some figures I had to repaint several times because it just didn't feel right. You know, it had to be perfect. You know, I felt like I had one shot to do this painting. I couldn't blow it. It had to be just right in every way. Right now I'm just finishing up doing some of the details in these different documents. You know, one of the reasons I made the painting so large is because there's so much detail that if the painting was smaller, I'd never be able to get that detail in there. Usually I work on a painting or a spot of the painting until there's nothing that bugs me. That's how I know when it's finished. But there's always something that bugs an artist. I mean, if I look at anything long enough, I'll find a little spot I want to adjust. So oftentimes I try to stand back as I paint. If it bugs me from a distance, then I know I need to go in and adjust it. As you examine the painting closer, you know, there's 60 figures in the painting. There's a lot of people there, a lot of history, and each one has their own story. I could just go on and on. I'll point out just a few. Way over here in the corner, a fellow here with the kind of green turban. His name is Sequoia. I had the idea of using a Native American to put him in the painting. I thought, is there anybody who has some kind of connection to strengthening the Constitution? Because that was a prerequisite to be back here. He inspired the Indian nations so much that when they were trying to get their own statehood back in the early part of the 20th century, they called it the Sequoia Convention, and they designed their own constitution based on the U.S. Constitution. And so they honored him by naming it after Sequoia. And we have the Sequoia National Park, which was also named after him. So he was an amazing man, and you know, has some ties to the U.S. Constitution. There's also some other interesting people. You know, you've got Frederick Douglass, who was an abolitionist and fought for women's rights, and you have you know, people from different time periods. Here's Krista McAuliffe, who died in the Challenger space shuttle accident. She represents the space industry and all the people who have sacrificed there. She was a school teacher, just a regular person that did great things and sacrificed her life for our country. These people in the foreground aren't specific people. The ones in the background are. These are historical people. These people are symbolic of different types of Americans. So as you go through it, you can kind of say, well, who am I? You know, which one of these people do I most identify with? And it's really interesting because as I've seen people come in the gallery, you can tell right away by their comments who they identify with. So if anything, this painting is a revealer of truth within yourself. It gets you thinking about who you are and what's important to you. And that's why I painted the picture. On this area right here, you have different people that were either shot, assassinated, or killed while defending their freedoms. You know, You have, of course, Lincoln, who was assassinated. You have John F. Kennedy, who was assassinated. This person right here is Nathan Hale, who was the first American that was executed during the Revolutionary War. And he's famous for saying, right before he was executed, "The only regret I have is that I have only one life to give for my country." And that was inspiring to me. This person right here was Martin Luther King. And I put him in this area because I thought it was significant having the great emancipator, Abraham Lincoln, and then JFK, who fought for civil rights, and then to have Martin Luther King, who was kind of the figurehead of the civil rights movement. But because of copyright issues with the King Foundation, I wasn't able to put him in the picture. And I felt like he was important enough that I put a African-American modern soldier, 101st Airborne Division, and on his body armor, it has the name King as a tribute to Martin Luther King. Over here we have John Adams, Alexander Hamilton, you have Abigail Adams, and their son, John Quincy Adams. And here's John Jay, the first American Supreme Court Justice, standing right in front of the Supreme Court building. All these figures are important. Every one of us has to make sacrifices. We have to make choices. And I think that, if anything, I want this painting to get us to reflect on our own potential as an American to do something great. We can all contribute in different ways, but if anything, I want people to look at this painting. I just want you to think about who you are and as an American and what you can do to help build our country. And is there anything that I can do to make a difference? Maybe you just need to educate yourself more. Maybe you need to talk to a friend. You can teach your children. There's many things that we can do. I'm just an artist. I'm just painting the thoughts and feelings that I have. But I hope that whether you like this painting or not, that's not important. What's important is that it makes you think. It makes you think about who you are as an American. And where is our country? Where is it headed? What's going to happen to us? And our children? Where are we moving? Where am I on this side of the equation? Where's my relationship with God? Would I be worthy to stand with these people someday? And that's important to me. I hope you'll think about these things, and if you do, I'll feel like the painting was a success.